mustard, pan. Oh no! Mr. Krabs, I am so confused.
Can't we all relate to SpongeBob here? We've all been in a position where we're expected to do the same thing that we've been doing for so long, but our own brains get in our way and we make the task seem impossible. What SpongeBob is going through is self-doubt. For SpongeBob, it's sort of a new experience, but for the rest of us, not being confident in ourselves is a normal experience. It's a tough place to get out of, but Season 1, Episode 6 of SpongeBob, titled Pickles, gives us some good ideas on how to regain our confidence. How we lose confidence. So, how did SpongeBob get here? He's the best Krabby Patty maker in all of Bikini Bottom, so why is it so hard for him to remember how to make one? In other words, why do we lose our confidence? The episode starts with business as usual. Squidward is taking orders, and SpongeBob is whipping them out as fast as he can.
I got it already, Squidward.
SpongeBob is more confident here than I've ever been doing anything in my life. He knows every step and can almost do it without thinking.
One crying Johnny.
SpongeBob is so good at making Krabby Patties that he's basically showing off at this point. SpongeBob's confidence when he's making Krabby Patties is something we can all aspire to, but having it and maintaining it is easier said than done. If you've ever been in the zone, doing something you love like SpongeBob, then you know how fragile that state is. There are many things that can take away our confidence. Experts say that one of the main causes of losing confidence is negative self-talk. That's when your brain tries to be helpful by giving you critical feedback, but ends up taking it too far to the point where it just hurts. Lots of things can bring on that kind of negative self-talk. For a lot of us, SpongeBob included, it's a bully that brings on this self-doubt.
SquarePants.
So Bubble Bass walks in, and it seems like he's some sort of self-proclaimed food critic. He and SpongeBob seem like they already have some kind of beef, which means that SpongeBob has probably had to deal with this guy's criticisms a lot. But SpongeBob is sure that he can prove himself to Bubble Bass. Unfortunately, Bubble Bass doesn't play fair.
You forgot the pickles!
This really gets to SpongeBob, and he starts to lose it a bit. Okay, he starts to lose it a lot, but who can blame him? Most people are pretty sensitive to negative comments, especially when they're as dedicated to their craft as SpongeBob is. For some reason, haters will always hold some sort of power over us because we tend to give in to negative thinking more than positive thinking. Researchers say that this is a leftover habit from people's primitive days when paying attention to negative outcomes was needed for survival. Today, though, it tends to just make you scroll through comment sections for 5 hours, making sure that every last person absolutely loved your post. But no matter how hard the haters try, your biggest critic will always be yourself. Self-doubt and overthinking. Failing at something you feel like you should be good at feels terrible, and it can make you feel like you were never good at it in the first place. Even when the haters go away, you can't help but feel like there's something wrong with you. SpongeBob starts to feel like he has no idea how to make a Krabby Patty. What SpongeBob is going through here is one of the most frustrating things ever: overthinking. We know he can make a burger, and he knows he can make a burger, but his own brain is so full of doubt that he feels like he can't even trust his own instincts. Mr. Krabs sends SpongeBob home to help him clear his head and get back on track.
Mr. Krabs is right. I need to get my head straight.
But sadly, it's not that simple. If you guys have ever been stuck overthinking about something before, you know exactly what SpongeBob is going through right now. When you overthink, it feels like it takes up actual space in your head so that there's no room for anything else. Things that are usually pretty simple can seem like impossible obstacles. Like when you're already having a bad day and then you drop something and it feels like you're the biggest failure in the world. It's not an easy place to get out of, and SpongeBob has it just as hard as anyone else.
Sorry about that, Mr. Krabs. This pickle thing has got my head all messed up.
So SpongeBob heads home to figure out what's going on and to see if he can remember how to make a burger.
Let's see, tomato, pickle, bun, no shoe.
No matter how hard he tries, he just can't do it. So he decides that getting some sleep would be the best move.
Oh, was it mattress, sheets, pillow, then SpongeBob? Or, oh, thanks, Sponge.
SpongeBob can't even remember how to sleep right. This probably doesn't reflect anyone else's experiences with self-doubt, since we can't literally forget how to sleep. But it does represent how self-doubt can lead to a restlessness that makes your physical body feel impossibly uncomfortable. SpongeBob spends all night tossing and turning, going under the mattress, on top of his headrest, and under the bed. He ends up not getting any sleep, which only makes his problem worse.
Alarm clock. How do I turn this thing off?
Research says that a lack of sleep can cause lower self-esteem and higher sensitivity to other people's judgment, so SpongeBob's problem has only gotten worse. I know exactly how SpongeBob feels. One time I had an interview for a job that I was really excited for, but I didn't know if I had the skills I'd need to impress them right away. Spent all night trying to sleep, but my brain kept going through all the things that could possibly go wrong, and I ended up not sleeping at all. The next day, when I finally got to the new job interview, I couldn't keep a single thought straight in my head. I didn't get the job, which sucked. But since then, I've learned that not getting the job wasn't the end of the world that my stressed out brain was making it out to be. Ironically, if I'd been more relaxed, then I'd probably have done better at the interview. But SpongeBob doesn't know that yet, so he doesn't get any sleep and his problem only gets worse. Meanwhile, at Krusty Krab's, Squidward has been given the job of making the food and everything is falling apart.
He burnt my Krabby Patty.
Here we see that SpongeBob's not as useless as he thinks he is.
No, come back! No, no!
So Mr. Krabs sets off on a mission to get SpongeBob back to his old self, getting your groove back. SpongeBob's house is a total mess at this point, and he walks into the room with his underwear over his head. He's not even able to form a coherent sentence.
Krabs, I don't know if
Take your time.
SpongeBob has spiraled so much into self-doubt that he can't even remember how to talk correctly, and there's a good chance that he's not wearing any underwear either. This doesn't stop Mr. Krabs, though.
All we need to do is get your confidence back, so you can make me more money. Patties.
Mr. Krabs isn't really the best supporter that someone could have in SpongeBob's situation, since he's mostly in it for the money, but it's better than nothing. So Mr. Krabs does his best to figure out how to get SpongeBob's confidence back. He lays out a mat with all of the ingredients needed for a Krabby Patty.
Mr. Krabs, I don't know if
Take your time.
Okay, so a bit of a mixed bag here in terms of how well Mr. Krabs is doing. If one of your friends is ever suffering from self-doubt, hear them out before anything else. Listen to their worries and doubts, and make sure they know that you're there for them. Don't interrupt them like Mr. Krabs. On the other hand, you should let them know that it's okay to take their time. Regaining confidence is a process, and the best thing you can do for your friend is not put a time limit on them. The thing that they're doubting in themselves probably has to do with something that they need to get done, and making their healing process another thing that needs to get done can make it just as stressful as anything else. So Mr. Krabs waits for SpongeBob for a long time, and then he waits even more. Until finally,
yes, I finally realized that I can't do it, Mr. Krabs. I'm a failure.
well, that was a lot of build-up for nothing. Is there really nothing that Mr. Krabs can do to help get SpongeBob's confidence back?
I can't put a patty on a bun with lettuce, cheese, onions, tomatoes, ketchup, mustard, pickles, and top bun together in that order.
He nailed it, just like we knew he could. With his confidence renewed, SpongeBob heads back into work.
Hey, SpongeBob's back.
And look at that, everybody missed him. But Bubble Bass is back, and he challenges SpongeBob to make him another burger. SpongeBob makes it for him, and Bubble Bass says that he forgot the pickles again. But SpongeBob sees through his lie.
Wait a minute. Look.
Boom! There it was all along. The confirmation for the thing we all knew already. SpongeBob does know how to make a Krabby Patty, and he doesn't mess it up, ever.
3 cheers for the return of our master fry cook, SpongeBob! Hip hip! Hooray!
And there you have it. SpongeBob got his groove back. But is it really that simple to do in real life? Tips for regaining confidence. Having, growing, and maintaining confidence in yourself is important for many reasons. As we saw in this episode, one of them is just the fact that you'll be better and more efficient at your job if you can trust yourself to be. But there are other reasons why it's important to make sure that you're not letting self-doubt get the better of you. Being confident can help form healthy relationships with people, since it lets you be more open and unafraid of being judged. It can also let you meet the challenges and many changes that life throws at you with resilience. But if you're not that sure of yourself yet, that's totally fine too. Gaining confidence can be tough, so here are some suggestions that experts have given on how to start the process. The first one is a classic. Just stop comparing yourself to others. This is tough in the world of social media where it looks like everyone is always living their best life, but the truth is that they're not. Everybody is going through a quiet battle that you don't know about, so comparing yourself to their outside image won't ever help. The second one is one of my favorites. Embrace your failures as learning opportunities. This one's fun because it's basically just a change in perspective. The next time you mess up on something, don't waste your energy talking down to yourself in your head. That doesn't accomplish anything. Instead, use your energy by paying attention to the small details you missed which led to your failure and take note of them for next time. By using this perspective, you'll start to feel like you're constantly improving. And the third one that I'm gonna mention is also a really good one. Surround yourself with positive people. So yeah, the exact opposite of people like Bubble Bass. Don't pay attention to the haters. Just by being a human being, you're capable of massive potential, and anyone who tries to tell you otherwise is lying. When you find the right people, they'll see that potential in you, and they'll support you when you need it. The thing that really helped SpongeBob overcome his self-doubt and get his confidence back was support from his friends. When Mr. Krabs came over, gave him encouragement, and let him know that it was okay to take his time, SpongeBob was able to snap out of it and remember how to make a Krabby Patty. When we lose our confidence, it can really help to have people there to encourage us and remind us of what we're capable of. But sometimes we don't have someone there to tell us those things, which is why you need to be your own biggest supporter. Remind yourself that it's okay to take your time and that the thing you're worried about probably isn't really the end of the world. Even though I didn't get that job I really wanted, I still learned from it that putting too much pressure on myself can be just as useless as putting no pressure on myself. Since then, I've tried to come to all my job interviews with a more relaxed attitude, and it's worked. And even when I don't get the job, I still get a good night's sleep. Everyone has the potential to accomplish whatever they put their mind to, and for what it's worth, I see that potential in all of my subscribers. Love you guys. And if you're in a tough spot right now, I promise it does get better.